Hello, I am your new favorite, JJ Caballero, joined by the lovely Goins, Casey Goins, and this is MonoStereoVideo, a podcast about movie music. I'm a songwriter, producer, DJ, while Casey's an amazing hairstylist, salon owner, and we love movies and music, and this is the perfect excuse to talk about music and movies. I memorized that, but I was still reading it.
You know, so I caught you off guard.
A little bit, and
took
then
your breath away.
I ran out of breath. Yeah, you took my breath away. You did. You took my breath away. How's it going, my love?
Good. I'm still, the energy's still going, so I'm letting it be there.
Okay, good. Let's keep it up. Let's see how long this episode is, because mine is definitely...
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, for just getting off work, like, I'm in that moment where it's like, you know what I mean?
We both just got off work. We both just got off day job, and I couldn't be happier to get off. Today was particularly ufas. Either way, thank you very much for joining us on MonoStereoVideo, where we talk about music and movies. Last week's episode, I did a Monster of the Week, and I did a listening party, and it was like I did the Monster of the Week where I talk about like the music news and the movie news and stuff, while the Long Legs soundtrack was playing underneath.
Okay.
I don't know how successful that was.
Okay.
I don't know how successful I executed it. So, So I think we'd have to try something different. I want to try something with that. Like, I want to try something with my DJ stuff.
Okay.
Hooking everything up at some point, and maybe we just do have some sort of listening party, something that we can record or stream or something. I don't know. I had this idea of doing something like that. To be continued on that. Maybe like a Twitch thing. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, thank you very much for listening, though. Those of you who did listen to the Long Legs listening party, let me know what you thought. Let me know what the vibe was for you. If you liked the Long Legs soundtrack was wild too. It was just it was like and then like weird like weird sounds and stuff like that. So I think it might have been just like the wrong soundtrack to pick for that. Yeah. Maybe it could have been.
You probably need one that has a little more like variety, like where there's fast songs, slow songs.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean.
I think so too.
Maybe not so symphonic or like just noise heavy. It needs to be.
It was more noise. That's what it was. It's like noise. It was noise. I keep saying either way, but today We're not in like a loop of anything. We're just kind of like freeballing it today. We're freeballing it. It is a fan request, essentially. My friend Adrian, he brought up, you guys should do The Beach. You guys should do the Danny Boyle film, the 1999 film? The year 2000. 2000 film, Danny Boyle's 2000 film, The Beach, starring Leonardo Di Caprio and Tilda Swinton. What is your memory of that time, of the year 2000, of The Beach?
Oh, this movie's so 2000. I do like now it's Leonardo DiCaprio and Tilda Swinton, because back then Tilda still wasn't really anybody, and so she wasn't like on the bill like that. It was like, this is a Leo movie. You know what I mean? So that's what I remember.
I feel the same way. Like, I wouldn't have known Tilda Swinton at the time. You know, did you know?
I did know who she was, and I had seen what else did I see her in at that time? I can't even think of it off the top of my head. I had maybe seen a couple other movies at least a couple other movies she was in. And then to me, I felt like that was the most normal person she had played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even still to this day, like, that's the least character that she's played. She can turn it on. Like, she can play anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a very normal role for her.
Yeah.
It's super normy. But
I mean, even though we'll get into who she is, but even though she's she's supposed to kind of go kind of mad at the end. I don't know. She doesn't die, right? She's just
no, nothing like that. They don't die,
right?
She's like throwing a fit. Like, she doesn't want to leave. Yeah. Like, she wants to stay there. They made a deal, whatever. Like, So she's just throwing a fit and crying, like, but then it just kind of fades away. It doesn't say if
that is true.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe like her and Bugs stayed, or if later they kind of just killed him. I don't know.
In the book, I think I didn't read the book, but I think from what I was reading, the difference in the book is there's more madness that ensues. Like,
I would assume.
So in the book, it's more violent in that. Well, okay, spoilers already. Here we go.
That's why I always say, I'm like, that's what that needs to be on, or we need to make, if we're making shirts, it's just got to be spoiler or spoiled.
Spoiled.
Like, it's spoiled. Spoiled brat. Spoiled brat.
Green,
that's all it is.
Brad Summer.
We give so
We're
many
in Brad
spoilers.
Summer.
We spoil all the movies.
We have to. We
We're
just
spoilers.
have to. Brat. Dun, 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 dun. I think I'm going to put the music into that. That'd be cool. Brat Summer. This was a very Brat Summer movie. It was very Brat.
I was thinking about it as we were watching it again because I've seen it so many times, and I want to say we had it on VHS.
Okay.
But this was like peak Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
Like, this was peak.
This was
like, he was already like Leo. Everybody knew who he was.
It was
they wanted him in. Like,
Basketball Diaries.
He was still young enough. He was still, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a little kid anymore. But that's what I remember, it being like, oh, this is a Leo movie. I'm so excited. And the music sounded cool. Like, you know what I mean?
The most lasting thing is this soundtrack. Like, the soundtrack is the thing that has the longest tail of it. Because, like, the movie's not, like, we like the movie and such, but it's not
Nobody cares.
It's not, like, widely revered as anything. It's just kind of, like, there.
It's like, if you already like the actors, you're going to know about it. Because Tilda Swinton, Robert Carlyle, like, if you know those actors, then you're like, fuck yeah, I want to watch that movie.
And if you're a Danny Boyle person, which we totally are.
So,
second Danny Boyle movie we've covered on the podcast. First one was Trainspotting. I covered Trainspotting with Luis. Yeah, we covered. That was the first episode. So go back to the first episode. Check it out if you haven't checked it out yet.
I wonder how that one sounds compared to now. Like,
I'm much less energetic. I was much more like pensive. I was much more like, yes.
You were all pep in your step.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
What did you? I took it more seriously.
So you're not trying to like ask questions like that no more?
I think I was asking. I mean, I still ask questions like that. Like, where were you at this time? How did you feel about that at the time that you did that? It was all that. That's always something I ask. Like at the time, like I want to know what you were doing.
I was sophomore.
Wow.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I was okay. So the year 2000. You were probably a freshman because I was 12.
I graduated I was freshman because I graduated in 2003.
Yeah. Yeah. So year 2000. And I remember I remember when it was the year 2000, my cousin Manny had a wedding on New Year's Eve. He had a wedding New Year's Eve, and I remember just being there and like Y2K. It was like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? I was very much.
So many people that you are associated with and have gotten married on that day.
Oh no shit, huh? Guys, my friends, the friends who are listening, if any of you are my friends. And if my cousin's listening, I know it's easy for you to remember the day as your anniversary. It's the first day of the year. I know it's easy. I understand. But guys, those were some of the most stressful New Year's Eves like ever. And I mean, when I was 12, that party was fun. I remember Jake got drunk and he was like in high school, and my dad was like, all right, he's gonna feel it in the morning, and he's like acting a fool in front of everybody, dancing and stuff, being Jake. It was funny. Yeah, 12 years old. I remember bits and pieces.
Jake was 15?
Jake, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I don't know what they were drinking or where. I wasn't like with the big cousins. I was with like my age cousins, but yeah. And I just know he disappeared and he came back and he was acting a fool. But my dad was acting a fool. Everybody was acting a fool. So sure. We were all fools. So whatever. I mean, so this was also like, so it's been Romeo and Juliet, Leo. It's Leo Mania. Were you Leo Maniac?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like a screaming, squealing, whatever, but I did have a crush on him, and I did watch all the movies, like Marvin's Room, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Basketball Diary. Like, I've watched all the movies. Like,
Did you have this soundtrack?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so when this movie came out, I know it was like peak CD time or whatever. But shit, that was expensive.
Yes.
And like I had a job to put gas in the car, not to like, so if I was going to buy a CD, it wasn't going to be.
And you know what's wild?
You know what I mean?
It's just not, so it's not available on my streamings. I didn't find it on Spotify.
It was listed on Pandora, but under the radio, so that you couldn't just freely play it.
Yeah. So we're listening to it from like, we heard it on YouTube. But I mean, most of the songs are out there. I like the remix, the Blur remix is hard to find. Things like, we'll get into it. It's the stuff that's a little hard to find. But yeah, it's one of those that's kind of lost to time too. That would be awesome. It'd be awesome to repress it. Like it'd be like a lot of these. They should be. That'd be cool to just have like a second repressing. So many years later. 25 years later, 24 years later. You know, this fucking movie, and yeah, because it's the thing that has the lasting legacy. Like the cool artists, and we'll get into the most famous song on this album. I have two songs in my head simultaneously from this album that are just playing right now in my head. Yeah.
I know which ones they are.
Yeah, I know you know which ones. Yeah,
like I know exactly which songs they are.
Up top, also, thank you very much. Follow us on social media at MonoStereoVideo on Instagram. I'm gonna work to get better at doing that. Follow me on TikTok right now, JJ Caballero Music, but I'm gonna be posting stuff from us there too. Until I make maybe a MonoStereoVideo TikTok, but I'm still just seeing what's up with the other TikTok. So let me see what's up right there with that. But follow us there. www.jjcaballero.com. I got new music out, so that stuff's up there too. Casey, Deep Cuts, new logo, new look. Thank you
to Jimmy. Jimmy's awesome.
Positive
Jimmy
Design.
Made a new logo for the shop, and it came like, it's crazy how like when we were working out days and whatever, like timelines, and I kind of wasn't even really thinking about it, and I know it's not like he was thinking about it in that way, but it's crazy that my 6-year shop anniversary is on Thursday.
Oh, cool.
So like he had the new logo like right on, you know what I mean? It was like right on time.
Neat. Thanks for that, Jimmy. Former our BFF, former guest, probably future
former
guest.
El Pasoan.
Former El Pasoan. I mean, yeah.
Pasoan.
He's a world traveler.
Right?
He's on the go right now. He's on the go. Dead Electrics. He's working on some stuff right now that I've been working with him on some stuff, and he was telling me that he's getting some release dates together and stuff too. So we'll be promoting that as well. But yeah, we'll have new merch up for Deep Cuts as well. That stuff will be cool. We're gonna get some MonoStereoVideo merch up very soon, because that's something that I need to get rolling on that stuff too. Yeah, we'll be looking at that. But yeah. Thank you very much. Very, very, very grateful for you guys for sticking with us and hanging out. We've already been talking the cast, so let me just get into the cast list. Like, let's just get into Leonardo DiCaprio was Richard. I mean, such a, like, Richard. Richard. Okay, that's the main character. Our hero's name is Richard.
He was the hero.
I mean, he's kind of meant to be the hero in a way. Like, the way it ends, like, you're supposed to, like, root for him. Like, oh, he had such a great time there with all his friends and, you know, his family and, you know, the picture. He sees the picture.
Oh, yeah, at the end, how it was like, oh, okay, we don't hate.
Yeah.
Like, we don't hate each other. Like, it happened and whatever, but no, like.
I mean, He's the protagonist of the movie. He's the protagonist. There is a clear delineation. He's the protagonist and Tilda's the antagonist. Like, I feel.
I don't know. I guess I didn't see it that way.
Nah?
Like, no.
Huh.
But no, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because, like, just story-wise, I feel like that, like, it's... yeah, you're true. Because, like, we follow his story the whole way, so... I don't know, yeah, you're right. Like, because, I mean...
I don't feel like she...
at this age, watching
doing anything... Like, she didn't do anything wrong.
That's true. You're true.
Like...
He did everything wrong.
That's why.
Yeah, he did everything wrong.
Richard sucks.
Yeah.
He's a sucky, shitty-ass person. Like... Yeah, like... keep going with the cast, though.
Well, never mind then. He is not the hero. He's not the hero of this movie. He's annoying. Yeah. We like, follow his story. He's the guy.
The movie, when you're a kid, and I'm talking like, I was a freshman. You're a kid. You think you know everything. You think you know enough. But seeing it at that age, you don't realize what you're watching, or you don't realize, like, the meanings of what's happening. Like, a lot of fucked up shit happens in this movie.
That's true. And he caused fucked up shit. And, like, when you're a kid,
you're just kind of like,
he caused fucked up shit. That's true.
But as watching it as an adult, like, it was more like, Richard sucks.
I mean, this is the first, like, this is not the first time I've seen the movie, but I first saw it with you. Like, being with you is what I remember the beach, Leonardo DiCaprio. But, you know, when you're a 12-year-old kid and you're like, Leonardo DiCaprio, what? That's for girls. And, like, you know, I was preteen. I was like right there. I wasn't teen yet to know that it's like, yeah, well, all the girls like this shit, bro. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that shit. So, like, I was like, I didn't watch it. And now it's like, oh, okay. I wouldn't have liked it. It wouldn't have been. You would
have thought it was boring.
I would have thought it was boring.
There was nothing like for a kid, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was no aliens, which I originally thought there was gonna be like science fiction stuff to it, or at least like this is an experiment beach or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. I thought there was gonna be something like that, and when it was what it was, it's like, oh, okay. I get this. I get why this is a thing. I get why it's a Danny Boyle movie. Yeah. Like, it's very. It's. I guess up till this point, he'd been doing just kind of, like, I guess British movies, huh? It was like Shallow Graves and then fucking Trainspotting and yeah. So it was a way for him to, like, get out there.
Like, it was the first, like, major American, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's on Blank Check. That's what we were listening to that the other day, and Blank Check was saying that too. That it was like his. So the main characterness of this all. So this brings. I wanted to bring up the Ewan McGregor thing, like. He would have been Richard had it not been for the studio saying that, like, if you want to make such a big movie, you're going to need a bigger star, not Ewan McGregor. And Life Less Ordinary. Oh, we should watch that movie again. So, I know. That movie, I know. Yeah, that movie is wild. But, so it was that. I think Ewan McGregor, in my opinion, would have made Richard way more likable. Because Rent in Trainspotting isn't really like the greatest guy. I mean, he's more. You feel more for him as a sufferer of a disease and stuff. But like, he's like they're all not good friends. But then he's the one that fucking takes off on them and shit. You know what I mean, with the money. Yeah. So like, he's not really like the greatest guy there. He does play like not great guys, but you still like him. And I think it would have been a more believable thing. I think the sex with Tilda would, like the sex with Sal would have been like more believable too. Like that pairing to me.
Yeah, it was like too big of a jump.
That was a little bit off to me. It just it was a bit off to me. It wasn't. I think her and Ewan would have had a better, maybe more. I don't know about more chemistry.
I think that's also why, because since he wasn't Scottish or non-American, that's why it made the story more believable of like the little how they're trying to portray him.
Yeah,
because he was American. Like,
okay,
so they needed an American actor, not
I get that,
playing an American.
Yeah, you're true.
I think that's probably why too.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I could see how Ewan would gotten like butthurt over that. That's kind of like, what the hell?
And that thing too. He got butthurt, and it was a breakup between him and Danny Boyle until T2 later. You can listen to that blank check episode on that. That's a really good episode. Real cool stuff. But they talk about that in detail. But they brought up that conversation about Ewan McGregor, and it was just like, I would have liked to see that more. I personally would have. Yeah. I think I would have liked to see that and go from there. Because Leo had his fucking cake. He was already eating it. Like, I mean, he didn't need this shit. He really didn't. But either way, we've gone on very long about Leonardo DiCaprio. Tilda Swinton was Sal. Grand Budapest Hotel. I'm trying to scroll through the movies to see which one maybe you would have seen. I'm trying to think. Michael Clayton was after.
Yeah, it needs to be like one of her early, like before this movie.
Did you see Orlando? Did you ever see that movie?
One?
No?
Mm-mm.
That one I want to see because I want to see that one. The Deep End is one. The Deep End is one that I recognize the cover of. Let's see. Let me show you.
It might have been that.
Okay, there's that. I mean, that came out. She's been round. But was this like her first major thing?
It was like a first like blockbuster.
Like first blockbuster? Okay. Orlando was a pretty. I mean, I don't think in America. Right? Yeah. Because that was Billy Zane, her, and fucking. I mean, I just said Billy Zane because I just saw Billy Zane here. Billy Zane with hair. Billy Zane with a lot of hair on this one. Not a Twin Peaks hair. Billy Zane with that hair. But Tilda Swinton's the best. She's awesome. She's one of our favorites. She just rocks, and she can rock it. She was perfect in this. I liked her. Now I mean, considering Sal was just like trying to build like an ideal. That's the whole fucking thing about this movie. Like the thing that sucks about now I'm thinking about what I was thinking about earlier and what I wanted to say today. I would not have shared that fucking map. Like that. Like that's the thing that makes Richard suck. I wouldn't like.
But that's why. That's what made it so.
It's his fault for everything.
He's doing something radical and different. And whatever, and like seeking out all this whatever. But he still just wanted to have the comforts just somewhere else. Yes. He still wanted it, the same bullshit, just somewhere else. Yeah. And he's the cause of that society going downhill, huh? Yeah. Well, bullshit. That sucks. Nah. She's the matriarch of the society that we find on the beach. Let's see. Virginie Ledoyen as Francois. The girlfriend of Guillaume Canet, who plays Etienne. So Etienne and Francois are also French. They're French travelers as well, right? They're backpackers. This is supposed to be in Thailand, right? That's where this is supposed to be. Yeah, they're staying in the same hotel as Richard. In the same hotel. He first sees her. He first meets them, and an infatuation over her. They become a thing later on. And that's a whole thing too that I'm like, I don't know. That was weird. But very good actor. Let's see. Virginie, bunch of French movies. La Cérémonie, Mahjong. Well, Mahjong is not a French word. Sorry. A movie called MILF. A movie called The Valet. A movie called The Backwoods. Yeah, she's in a lot of movies. Okay. Let's see. Etienne, he's in the Asterix movies. You ever seen? Do you know what Asterix is? It's like a French he's like a French Viking, and he's kind of like a mascot. He's kind of like a French Mickey Mouse, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But I remember when I was like taking French in middle school and stuff, there was like all these Asterix comics, and then he played Asterix in the one of the live action versions, because there's like a bunch of them, I think. He's in a movie called The Program, Girls with Balls. Okay. He's in a bunch of movies, a bunch of French stuff, a bunch of American stuff. I think just kind of going back and forth on stuff, independent things. Robert Carlyle plays Daffy. Robert Carlyle
Daffy is like the dude that gives Richard the map to try to seek out the beach. Richard being a traveler in Thailand, he's a backpacker and he's just trying to find an adventure. But like Casey said, he wants his cake and to eat it too. Like he also wants the creature comforts of being an American.
He wants to go to somewhere exclusive and that's not all like a typical place that you stay when you go out of town.
A touristy place. Yeah, touristy place. Yeah. He's one of us. I mean, he's kind of us a little bit. We're like, yeah, let's find the real.
No, I know, but we're not.
We're not like that. I know, we're not like that. We just want to eat and hang out. We just want to eat and hang out. Robert Carlyle, though, in Trainspotting, 28 weeks later, Trainspotting 2. I guess he was in Yesterday. I think he played John Lennon in Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Ravenous, which we have to talk, like, we're going to have to talk about Ravenous on this. Yeah.
I told you.
That movie is wild. That movie was wild. Ravenous was wild, and he was like a huge part in that movie.
Too.
The music, it's crazy. So wild. It's such a weird
combination.
Yes,
how did that happen?
How did that happen? And that's why I want to explore it, research it, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. So in the future, look for our Ravenous episode will come up in the near future. In the near future. He was Full Monty. It was a big thing for him. Full Monty. Angela's Ashes. Big movie for him.
I had already seen all of those movies.
Yeah. Same, but I didn't see this one. And it's weird because like it was like one of those like I think Angela's Ashes was like rented by my Nino, and the same thing like they were rented. So I just saw them with adults. Not that I wanted to see them. Not that I was like it was just, or maybe in a weird way. I think Angela's Ashes was showed to us in school. That's kind of a sad movie to be showed in school, but it was showed to me in school. Whether it be high school or middle school, I can't really remember. But yeah, Robert Carlyle, great actor. We like we like a lot of stuff he's in. Most stuff he's in, because he kind of just stands out in it. He can go from 0 to 100 real fast. Yeah, I like him. Let's see, who else? Keaty was played by a dude named Patterson Joseph. Keaty's the dude that they meet first. He was also he's in Wonka, the most recent Wonka. He was in Aeon Flux? Oh.
Yeah.
He was on that Velveteen Rabbit. He was in a Neil Gaiman Neverwhere. That was like was that a show or was that a movie? I think that might have been a show in the 90s. Yeah. Wow, okay, cool. Okay. Great actor. He was cool. All these people were cool because they were all just like helping out, creating the society, being useful, building things with each other.
They all had a little task. It was everything was helping each other and making sure everything is maintained because they're all doing something.
Bugs was played by this dude Lars Arns Hansen. Lars Arns Hansen. I'm trying to see movies we would have recognized. No movies we would have recognized at all, and there's a big blank on his. He's an actor though, and he's been in many movies. There 16 films here at least. So, Bugs was Sal's boyfriend, but also it was somewhat of a free love thing, and like it wasn't really free love, but it should have been a little more free love. They should have been a little more hippie and communal.
I know, because it's like, what do you
like?
think?
What? Who cares? Like what's happening? You're trying to do your own little society,
free and like, you know what I mean. Take the day as it comes.
That's also why the whole like I don't think like I understand why they did the story, and I don't know if it's in the book. It probably is about the Francoise and Richard thing. I don't know how it plays out in the book. So the book was written by Alex Garland. It was a super famous book in the UK for sure. Didn't have as much of an impact here, but on Blank Check they talk about how like when David, the co-host, was young, like everybody read this book. Everybody in his teenage age, and it was like this movie needs to be made and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it was a big phenomenon.
Yeah, I never knew. Like back then, I never knew it was.
Yeah, that was our clue. It was like it was part of like what made Alex Garland like Alex Garland, and like led to the collaborations between him for like 28 days later, for Sunshine, all the stuff that he did with Danny Boyle later started here. Like that's like the collaboration. But But so with that said, like, I don't know how the relationships plays out in the book. I don't know how, like, that to me was just like a piece of the story. Like, I get the whole relationship thing, the love interest, and there's a beautiful girl, and but I don't know. That didn't really hold it. I didn't believe it, and it didn't work for me. Like,
yeah, like so basically when Richard sees Francoise for the first time at the hostel that he's staying in, he immediately is like infatuated with her.
Yes.
And then realizes like, oh, she has a boyfriend. And so after that, he takes it upon himself to invite them to the beach and make it like we'll all go together. It'll be an experience, blah, 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 blah.
But he's also like...
But he's just still like trying, like the whole time he still has it in the back of his head. Like he wants to be with this girl. He wants to hook up with her, whatever the case is.
Yeah, he's annoying.
So by the time they get to the island... Kitty even notices it and at one point tells him, like, hey, dude, you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, what does a French girl want with an American guy? And I'm like, exactly. Like, why? Like, no, she doesn't. Like, no. And so, like, he's basically telling him, like, stop, like, wasting, like, leave it alone. But for some reason, she falls for it and ends up, like, hooking up with him. And, like, you never hear, like, ATN doesn't get upset over it. Like, you don't ever see them, like, he confronts him when they're in the forest. But it's not, like, a thing. Like, it kind of just dissipates, which to me was more believable because I feel like that's how guys are. Yeah. Like, they say what they're going to say and they either fuck each other up or it kind of gets, like, that's what happens.
It's just, I guess,
So, like, after when... Richard has to go with Sal to go get supplies for everybody in the city. And it's basically everybody knew this was what was going to happen or that this is something that does happen. And the trip going over there is not fun. So it's like nobody wanted to go. And he got pointed out to go because he didn't get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and that's
to
when
me,
they
I
have
feel
sex.
like everybody already knew
Sal have sex. Yeah.
That this was what was probably going to go on. And obviously Bugs did because he threatened him.
Yes.
So it's like she's already slept with other guys there, obviously, when they go on supply runs.
Yeah.
To me, that's why it's like, so why all of a sudden was it this big deal when she did reveal it, which we don't ever see. She reveals it to the group that they slept together.
Yeah.
And then Francois takes it upon herself to get upset and like, how dare you? And it's like... He cheated with you on the guy you were with. What made you think he wasn't going to cheat on you with some other girl?
Yeah.
To me, I can't understand it. If you are a girl that ended up with somebody and you were with the cheatee, like you were one cheating with them, like how could you ever expect that person not to cheat on you?
Yeah.
Like that to me does not make any sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
That's true.
Like, how could you ever think they're not going to do it again?
I get that. Yeah.
Or they're not going to do it to you? Like, I don't know.
No, it's true. Yeah. I mean, that's why it just didn't.
It didn't make sense.
It didn't. And then it was like, when it was like happening, it's like, and things were the best. And like those scenes where it's like, they're like in the middle of everybody and everybody's like, you guys are a couple. Oh. Like, that was like fucking cringy to me.
Yeah.
I didn't like that
like,
shit.
No.
Yeah. It didn't need to be that.
It was too many things. It's a very easy movie to watch, and it's very entertaining.
We love the movie.
But there's so many little things but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, you just said this and now this. And these people are supposedly all came here for the same reason to build this community. But basically, like, they're on an island with other Thai people that are actually there for work. And they're farmers and they're farming.
Weed farmers. They're
the
cannabis
weed
farmers.
that just happens to grow there on that island. And they made a deal with Sal, like, you can stay, but no more people.
Yes.
And they've been nice to them about it, like, no more people. And so, like, it eventually ensues to where they realize more people are here. Mm-hmm. We see all of you now. Like, Richard, and these other people were in our fucking crops and we killed them. You know what I mean? So it's like, this didn't need to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, like, it's essentially it's a story about Richard the backpacker going to Thailand, backpacking through Thailand, but we've already synthesized that Daffy is just like a crazy dude played by Robert Carlyle that gives him a map to a secret island, Daffy dies in mysterious circumstances.
Too, I feel like should have been more of a thing of how they kept referencing back to Daffy. Like, I don't feel like his little scene was long enough.
It was weird. It's weird because like he's such a big. He comes back. He's such a big part of everything. His spirit looms large on it,
and he keeps being referenced and being referenced.
And they didn't establish him super heavy. Like they didn't give them like a connect. They made them. It was like a quick connection. He smoked some fucking weed with him. He found him dead, and that was it.
They tried to give you the idea that he was sad and he was fucked up and he was trying, you know what I mean? Like they tried to give you that gist of there's a reason why he left the island.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why he's warned. Like he was pretty much warning him. But Richard was just trying to smoke a doobie. Like, you know what I mean?
So he has a map because of that, and he ends up he sees some stoners and he makes a second map, which is how other people end up going to the beach post him, because he's supposed to like he ends up making it to the beach with Etienne and Francoise. They ingratiate themselves into this secret society that's out there, and that's where we're caught up, I guess. But like the fucking like two things: the making the map. I wouldn't have made a map for nobody. I would like especially those dudes, like those fucking tweet like, okay, let's smoke some weed, let's drink some beers, but I'm not your best friend. Like, fuck it, we'll chill. I gotta take off, bro. I don't know you. You're gonna do your thing. Why make a map for those guys? Like, you're just causing drama for yourself. And then second thing is like, if I was Tilda, I would have just like given this fool a gun and made him kill the fucking tourist. Like I would have made him like I would have just I was like, that's the easiest way. Like just shoot him. Like just kill him.
But they themselves didn't have weapons.
No,
you know what I mean? Like Tilda and all of them, they didn't have weapons, or else they would have shot the food they were trying to kill. They didn't have weapons. They made all their own tools.
Oh.
They didn't have guns.
Oh, I thought they.
No, that's why. Like
that would have been the easy way.
You know what I mean?
That would have been the easy way.
I
don't know. I would have banished Richard.
It would have been like I would have been like her gone to the farmers and been like, "Hey, we've been seeing people scoping out over here with our binoculars, like." You know what I mean?
Well,
like it looks like,
and then the farmers found their map. That's the whole thing. Is that they found the map.
That's true.
They found their map.
That was the reason why. They
so the farmers end up killing those other people that Richard saw.
Or just you saw them swim there in the first place. Like I would have been like, go fucking swim back over there.
Yeah.
And make sure they don't come over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Swim your ass over there. Make a little raft. And fucking.
My mind went to like after I realized the gun thing. I was like, she should have just killed Richard and threw him in the water, and then that would have fucking scared them away.
They were too far. They wouldn't have seen him.
Kill Richard, put him on a fucking raft, his fucking body on a raft as a message. Stay away, and just put "stay away" in his blood, and like his dismembered head, just like right there with like his dismembered head on a raft right there. The rest of his body kind of spread out everywhere, but in his mouth, a note. Open the note, stay away.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
either way, so Daffy ends up like committing suicide.
Yes.
So that's like another big thing of like, you know what I mean? Like obviously something happened or something. The island does something to you.
I guess so. I mean, to me it would have probably been like I don't know. No, I
wouldn't have wanted to go after seeing Daffy and like seeing how he was, and then his demise. Like I would have been like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, that's true. Like, where do you get it's that morbid curiosity that kicked in for Richard, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole scene when they're trying to gauge like how far is here from there, and we're just gonna swim. We'll just swim.
Yeah.
And in my mind, even at that young age, I'm like, you're not worried about sharks. Like, these are islands. These are not well-populated areas where boats are coming in and out, or like there's docks and whatever. I would have like you're in the wilderness. Like you're gonna swim 2 miles in the middle of the ocean. Like no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I would have just been like, this beach is nice. Let's chill here. Let's camp here for a few days. We'll go back to the hotel.
Yeah, like why do we need to like we can just be here? Yeah. I don't know.
But also when I find the beach, okay, so if I do push forward and I do find the beach, like. Yeah, I probably would just stay there because there's no need for the money. You have or there's no, there's not real needs for shit. You're like whatever you your need, weed.
You're gonna find it there. Yeah. Like you want to eat, you're gonna eat.
If I had a weed farm, wouldn't do shit. If I could farm my own weed, I wouldn't do a damn thing. I'd just smoke and sell that shit, or trade it for my goods.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how to kill a fish or catch a fish or whatever.
I don't wanna.
But I'll trade you this little baggie for some fish.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Exactly. They had a great system going.
But either way, these people end up making their way over to the island, and
they get themselves...
They're in the weed farmers, like they discover the weed farm, and they're all happy, and they're just running around in there and like all excited. And the farmers find them, and Richard's watching this, like hiding, and one of the farmers gets a little trigger happy and pops off that gun, and it just ensues. They chase them, try to kill them. One of the girls almost gets away, and Richard like hisses at her from the bush
because he's gone insane already. Ooh. He loses his mind in the woods.
That whole scene too, I thought was really funny, just because I'm like, yeah, maybe he's not necessarily on psychedelic drugs, but it's like, he's out there without anybody or talking to anybody, and he's eating whatever he can find. So you do go a little delirious when you're a little hungry and you're eating bugs and twigs and like mushrooms or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and he's inventing his little story.
So, and that's like, they even make a reference to it in the movie of like that he has gamer thumbs. So like during this whole time, he's like pretending he's in a video game, and he's fucking with the farmers, stealing their stuff and putting it in other places, or like causing little ruckuses. But yeah, that like they end up with like, so the farmers end up going to confront all of them, and
with guns,
and they have the guns, and they tell them like, you guys can't be here.
They chase them away.
Oh, well, even before that, about when the Swedes get attacked by the shark.
Oh, yeah. Some of the Swedes got attacked by a shark. One of the Swedes gets totally chunked out and eaten. And there's 3 Swede dudes. They call the Swedes. One of them gets deaded. The other one is severely almost mortally wounded.
And
like
is
right
like
there.
Delirious and like, and he basically just holding on.
And he wants to go to what is it? Like
they wanted them to bring a doctor.
He wants a doctor to go to the island.
Sal's but like, we're not bringing a doctor. Like we'll send you away, but we're not gonna like we can.
You can't tell them about this place.
And you can go, but we're not gonna bring.
And you can't tell them about here.
And you can't say where this
happened. No, and he's just crying, and he's just like a burden on them, and they shun him. Yeah,
they take him out into the middle of the woods, and Etienne's the only person that's upset. Yep. They take him out to the woods to leave him there so they don't have to see him or deal with him or anything.
Yep.
And I was like, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, that's worse than like, why are you letting him suffer?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
if he didn't choose to leave already, I would have been like, we're taking him on this raft and we're dropping him at an ER. Like, even if we don't say, like, we're going to take him, they're not going to come looking for you for this one Swedish man that doesn't speak English or Thai or whatever the fuck. Like, you know what I mean?
That's part of like an illustration of human nature. Even
that's why I was like, what the hell? Like, you guys go to Copenhagen to get supplies. You couldn't go just leave him like in front of an emergency room. Like, that to me like was like, whoa. But yeah, let's talk about that soundtrack.
Let's do the soundtrack. Let's talk this music. This soundtrack is awesome. It was like produced by Pete Tong.
Okay.
The BBC DJ, like he's like in charge of the essential mixes. Like he's like a guy in the DJ world for BBC and such. Pete Tong is the dude that produced this album. So that's also like, to me, it just shows like, okay, like Danny Boyle's on the pulse of like what this shit is all about. And
yeah.
I guess track one is Snake Blood by Left Field. Fucking this song I really, really like. How can I say it? This is the second Left Field song that we've covered on this podcast. I'm trying to remember the first one. Yeah, is this the introductory music? Is it the?
Yeah, this is what plays that whole time when he's like talking and when he drinks the snake Lifeblood, and he says, "Thank you, gentlemen. That was excellent."
That's right.
This is what's playing.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's typical Danny Boyle style, like beginning and like he's just fucking going towards it.
And then there's scenes that speed up and then slow down and then colors.
Yeah, this fucking song rocks. Left Field, this song rocks, but this song did get them into some trouble because this song sampled Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark's Almost without permission. So they Neil Barnes, band member of Left Field, he said that they forgot to remove the original sample when they bounced the track out and stuff. So so they got sued for that shit. Did they win? No, it doesn't say. I mean, I guess they were just maybe forced to pull the sample out somehow, maybe, or maybe they were forced to give some money. Maybe it's like a code thing now. It doesn't say here. But they were that shit does happen. People do not be fucking around with copyright. So I like that song. It's very pulsating. It's a cool introduction to like what this is gonna be about and what this is. The next song is the song that I had in my head. The other song that I had in my head. It's a very I think this is the song that might be Adrian's jam too. Okay. If I know Adrian like I do, unironically, he's fucking down with All Saints, Pure Shores. Yeah. If I know Adrian, unironically, he is down with this All Saints song. All Saints are where are they from? Where are they?
I don't know. I had friends that were into them, that liked them, but I didn't know much about them. I didn't do any research or nothing like that.
Yeah. Okay. British Canadian girl group. Okay. British Canadian girl group formed in London in 1993. Oh, 1993. Mm-hmm. Damn. Okay.
I remember that.
I mean, I remember them being around. I do remember this song, but I mean, I remember this song this is probably the All Saints song that I remember. I think that might be what that is. Like this might be the All Saints song that I remember from the world. I dig it. For some reason it's that.
I mean, it's very 90s
pop. Spice Girl pop.
Yeah. That's when they came out. Mm-hmm. It was all of that.
90s girl group, like
all the different voices, all the.
I like the guitar, the wonk 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 wonk. I like that a lot. Like that just like that sticks with me. If the fucking voices weren't on this and that was there, I'd be like, all right. I fuck with this song. You know what I mean? It'd be like a Paul Oakenfold song or some shit like that. That's what it reminds me of, like Oakenfold. 90s. 90s, 2000, early 2000s, late 90s shit. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. The next song is the other song that I had in my head. I think it's like the biggest song on here.
Oh, yeah.
Moby's Porcelain.
This is what sold the movie in theaters. Just the song was all over the promo. Like it was this song for this movie. Okay. For sure. Yeah, this I don't know how well known Moby was at this point, but
was
this
like right there.
Blew him up.
This blew him up.
This blew him up.
Yeah.
I remember this blowing him up.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people either liked him or they were like, "What the fuck?"
Yes. Yeah.
This blew him up.
I think Danny Boyle commented on that as well, as far as like he knew that he pulled this from somewhat obscurity in some ways, like not total obscurity. Like Moby had been doing stuff for a while. Like, he made records before. He was in punk bands back in the day, things like that. Like Moby. So if you don't know Moby, American DJ, producer, songwriter. This song, Moby, it's Porcelain. Hey, Mama. I don't know. Mama. In my dreams, Yeah.
Yeah, it's the piano. It's for this. It's when the song breaks and it's just that build again to the. Yep, this song blew him up.
This song blew him up. Moby, and then have you ever seen Moby? I've seen Moby.
I
saw Moby.
Think so.
Yeah, I saw Moby at Neon Desert. It was awesome. He rocked, and like he was DJing and shit, and then he'd come out in front of the stage and he'd be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!" Like he'd be like jamming out with people. This song is the shit. This song was the soundtrack. Like,
yeah, it was. This was the movie.
It was the movie, and like when it cues up, it plays like it's very iconic. It's very iconic for this. If you think the beach, honestly, if you think the beach, you think this. Yeah, if you think the beach,
or if you're telling somebody and they don't know what you're talking about, and you hear this song, you're like, okay,
oh, that one, okay, with Leonardo, okay, all right, okay, I get it. That one wasn't very good, huh? Was it good? I don't know if it was good. Was it good? I don't know if that one was real good. Was it real good, huh? The next song is a song by this dude named Dario G. Dario G. Let me get some information on some Dario G. Let's see. Dario G is an English dance music. Oh, Dario G were an English dance music trio formed in Cheshire, England. Producers were Scott Roser, Paul Spencer, and Steven Spencer. No relation. It says that in parentheses. No relation. It says that. They rose to prominence with their single Sunchime. Sunchime. I don't know why it just sounds like something like an aunt of mine would say. Sunchime. Or my mom. It does sound like something. Yeah. The song Voices from their album Sun Machine is the next song on here. Oh yeah. Okay, so this song is very good. It's the do 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 do. So this soundtrack is awesome. I can listen to it in full. This song, I could skip halfway through. This song reminds me of like. It reminds me like when I was waiting for you when we went to get those couples massages, and I was waiting for you in that room, and I was just watching that TV with like the scenes.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. It's elevator music. Yeah, it's Mervin's. You're walking around Mervin's.
This sounds like Mervin's. This sounds like Mervin's. Yeah. It sounds exactly like Mervin's.
The soundtrack of your life.
Mervin. That's why I can like get like, okay, Mervin's, fuck this. Like I'm out. I'm done. But I mean, the vocals are nice.
I don't know. This is one of those songs where I'm like, boring.
Yeah.
This is boring.
It's boring. It is. And especially with the next song being so cool. And even though it's not this band's best song, Underworld's 8 Ball. Yeah. It's not the best song by Underworld by any means. But it's real cool. It's got like a... What?
But it's real cool. Believe every word I'm saying.
This intro, it reminds me of Tricky. It reminds me of the.
Not as cool.
Not as cool. But also, this one. I like Underworld a lot because they do use a lot of vocal. I really like that they do that.
I do like that.
I enjoy
them.
It. I would totally use this in a DJ set as an introduction. Like this I would totally use to evolve into something else a little bit more. And then, I mean, it gets a little more like... Just a little more open and airy.
I guess
a little
it's
more
just because
tropical.
it's too vanilla for me.
It is very vanilla.
That's why.
It's one of the most vanilla
hearing
songs.
Their other stuff, I'm like, it's too vanilla.
One of their most vanilla songs. But I mean, it's like they have a relationship also with Danny Boyle. They've been on his stuff before.
We need this kind of song for this kind of scene. So they're like, all right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, totally.
We'll tone it down.
Yeah,
we'll make it vanilla.
Yeah, we'll make it for the fucking beach.
Yeah, top 40s movie. We'll make it vanilla.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And it worked. They made their money. They made their fucking easy song.
They made their a lot of filler stuff.
Yeah, but this isn't the worst song. I would listen to like this. I'm saying I could listen to this album back and forth and just be like, oh, okay, I'm on the beach, or like in a pool. We could put this on in the pool.
I do not want to hear it. When I could be listening to Halicon on and on Halcyon? What is it?
Oh yeah, Halcyon. Yeah, Halcyon.
I always say it wrong.
Me too. I always say it wrong too. I always say it wrong.
I'm like, when
too.
I could listen to that, I'm not gonna listen to 8-Ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that's a much better. Yeah, that's a much better song.
It's
Halcyon.
the song.
It's the song.
The song.
So this song, "Spinning Away" by Sugar Ray. Oh yeah, Sugar Ray. Where you want? Where you try? Where you want?
We're from the beach. We go to the beach. We live at the beach. We're shirtless.
And okay, this is news to me. Which puts, sorry, this caught me off guard. Because I expected Sugar Ray, like, okay, I remember when they came out, like, the album cover of that first album was, like, they were, like, intense. They all, like, Mark McGrath had fucking tattoos. 90s band. They were formed in 1986.
I believe it.
Whoa, fuck, that's crazy. So they play heavier funk metal, new metal style, but it's also top 40 stuff that they made. Like that's Someday, na 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 na. That song was a thing. They were formed in Newport Beach, California. So like that to me, I thought they were more hardcore, but it's like Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Like Newport fucking Beach. There? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed there. Very bouge. Very bouge. So that puts
nothing hard about
nothing
it.
super hard. That to me, it's also like, oh, then those fucking highlights. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it was
fucking
like
highlights.
rich kids trying to pretend they're not.
Yeah, and they.
We don't know. We don't know them.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I mean,
next song.
Mark McGrath and a bunch of dudes. I had that album 1459, the one with Someday on it.
You would.
I liked that album. I listened to it all the time. I couldn't do it.
I will say that when they first came out, I thought Mark McGrath was hot, but then after hearing the songs and I was like, this is not, fly. Like this is false advertising. Like you're not sounding the way you're looking.
Put your arms around me, baby.
So yeah, I was kind of like, no.
What you want? What you try? What you want? What you try? What you try? What you want? I mean, that was like. That pseudo ska.
Yeah, but I was never a fan of that. Like I'm like you're gonna rock or you're gonna rap. Like I can't do this halfway bullshit. Like I can't. It irks me. I can't do it.
The next song is "Return to Django" this one is by Asian Dub Foundation featuring Harry Beckett and Simon DeZouza. Originally by Lee Scratch Perry. And it was originally written by Lee Scratch Perry for the Upsetters. Mm-hmm. The original song is much better.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. And I could get it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like, this is so like...
And the original Brian Eno song that Sugar Ray did is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are kind of like my least favorite songs. And even over like the Dario G song, like I like the Dario G song over these two songs, I think.
I don't like these songs.
Okay.
I don't like this. I was like, ew, what is this? No.
I mean, it's Return of Django. It's Return of Django.
This next song I liked.
Blur?
Yeah, just because it was...
On Your Own. It's a different remix. It's the Crouch End Broadway mix by, I don't know who... Dave... Blur's...
But yeah, this soundtrack is just all over the place.
It is kind of all over your place. Was this the song that played when he was a video game?
Going crazy? Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the song that played when he was a video game. Blur? Britpop group?
Didn't you say weren't they producers on from Ravenous?
Yes.
Blur
Damon
Albarn was the producer for the soundtrack of Ravenous. Yes. And that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. Yeah.
But yeah, this soundtrack is just all over the place.
But it's very British. It's Britpop.
Yeah, I get it. It's Britpop.
Because I mean Britpop also like of course there would be some sort of like Blur songs are very easy to remix. Like they have distinct parts. Like they're very choruses, catchy. They have good chorus. Yeah, exactly. And like you can adapt that. And like Britpop, I think in general is like it lends itself to a lot of good remixing. And especially because like in British culture, like DJing is such a thing. Like producing, like making DJ music and house, dance, like all the stuff, garage, all that shit. Like I mean fucking. That's why it's called UK Garage. That's why it's called like what's the fucking other one that I'm not thinking, like jungle and drum and bass. Like, you know what I mean? Like This one is cool for that. It has like those weird drum and bass.
Yeah. But it's like if you're a fan of Blur, or you're a fan of Damon Albarn, or if you're a fan of Gorillaz, like this is not the best.
It's not the best, but I see.
I get it.
I see the
transition,
between this to getting to Gorillaz. For him,
for sure.
You know,
well, that's what I forgot to look up, was because on the lyrics, I know I heard him say something about gorilla is in the lyrics, and I was told myself to look back at that to see if that was a reference of some sort, and I forgot. I totally forgot to do that.
I don't think it did. I don't think it was. I didn't see anything here.
What is the song called again?
That one is called On Your Own. On Your Own by Blur. On Your Own by Blur was that song. Very good song. Very out there, very wild. I mean, they do stuff like that too on their albums. They're kind of just everywhere on their albums too. Yeah. Like Tender is the Night. That's my favorite Blur song. Tender is the Night.
Hello, everybody. JJ from the future here. I am editing this shit right now, and I just realized and did a little bit of research. So, On Your Own is considered by Damon Albarn as one of the first Gorillaz songs. So, that's what that is. So, that's cool. Back to you, JJ.
But then this is Yeke Yeke. Ooh! Yeke Yeke by Morikante. Let's see, Morikante is a Guinean from New Guinea, a Guinean vocalist and player of the kora harp. He's best known for this song, Yeke Yeke. It's a 1987 hit song. It reached number 1 in Belgium, Finland, in the Netherlands, and in Spain. Very like island dancey, like island dancey house from that thing. Different percussions. I like that. And then like that, I mean, also with that, like Danny Boyle does, like he's a dude that travels with his music as well. Like he does, like he'll find something that's worldly, he'll put it into his things, and he'll, you know what I mean? Like he's very much like that. Like this is a very Danny Boyle soundtrack. Yeah,
like it was trying to like be world music. Like I get it.
Yes, yeah. I like this song. I do like this song. I like this song. But I like the next song even better. Woozy.
This was my favorite song.
Woozy.
On the soundtrack.
Woozy by Faithless. So Faithless is an English dance band that formed in 1995. Core members being Rolo, Sister Bliss, and Maxi Jazz. Their first album was called Reverence. Their most recent one in 2020 is called All Blessed. They've sold millions of records, but this tune is the jam. And so Casey. Oh yes, Casey
I had to ask one of our friends
who also played with us. He DJ'd for us at our Tip Ring Sleeve night. So shout out to Mr. Woozy.
Mr. Woozy. So I messaged him on Instagram and I was like, "Did you get your name from the song from Faithless, Woozy?" And I was like excited for it to, like, I was hoping it was gonna be like, "Oh yeah," like, or whatever, or just thinking and then he wrote back and he was like, "Oh no, I need to check that out." He's like, "I just came up with it like on the fly." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, but I was like, "Check it out." I'm like, "It's a good song."
It's a good song. This song's the jam. This song is the jam. It's got that. It's got like that. What's his name?
Like this song to me was way more hearty than a lot of the other songs.
What's that man's name? Wow, he's a fucking legend, and I'm very mad at myself for forgetting his name. I'm woozy, I'm stalling. What, Moody Man? Like, Moody Man has these types of vocals where they talk like this and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, this part, I love this.
And yes, that's so cool.
Like, I feel like you're galloping on a unicorn.
And it's like, It's like a synth, but it's also, I think it's like a Rhodes that's like processed through some stuff, so it can sound more spacey and yeah. And he says it. He's that right. He says like, "Let's get woozy."
Because I'm woozy.
Oh, because I'm woozy. Yeah. I mean,
So
woozy.
good.
Woozy should totally.
That's
fucking
why I
use
was
that
like,
shit.
if he incorporated it to one of his sets, I was like, that'd be badass. Because I'm woozy. I'm fucking woozy.
I'm fucking woozy. He should do that shit. Yeah.
Shout out to Mr.
Shout out to Woozy. Shout out to Woozy. Yeah. The next song is Richard. It's Business as Usual. Oh my gosh, I'm cracking my voice. This was Barry Adamson. He's a composer. He composed this. He's formerly in the post-punk band. Oh, post-punk band magazine. We've talked about him on something else. Lost Highway. He worked on music for Lost Highway. Barry Adamson. But this is just kind of like a montage. Like a montage of stuff that happened in the movie and like that, yeah. Of Richard's madness, kind of, yeah. That's alright. It's cool. Reminds me of like Natural Born Killers too. Yeah, reminds me of that. The next song I think is one of Casey's favorite bands. New Order's Brutal. It's a good song. I like this song. So would this be like your second favorite song on the album? They have to play
for the album, not necessarily. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I like it in general, and yes, I get it, like where they're going and stuff. But
it's got that 90s.
Oh yeah.
But I like that. Like I do. Like I've gotten accustomed to this. Like it's a nostalgia type sound.
Okay.
But it's still New Order, so it's like no. It has that like. This sounds to me like it could be a Garbage song also.
Yeah.
Which I like. I fucking love Garbage too. Like Brutal by New Order. New Order, amazing fucking British band, offshooting from the Joy Division. They're the continuance of that. Still around. Still, they need a. They're gonna play Cruel World. Like,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
I'm so surprised it hasn't happened. They have to or something. Like,
and they're still touring.
They're still playing festivals. They're still doing like the thing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm very sure. Like, it's they're running out of those types of bands.
The top older ones. Like, there's not very many older ones left. That's like Gary Newman's gonna be there again. Fucking love it.
And the next song is by Uncle, but featuring Richard Ashcroft. Richard Ashcroft, originally from The Verve, amazing singer-songwriter in his own right. Like, have you ever heard his solo stuff? Sick. Good shit. Like, he's a good fucking songwriter. His solo music's fucking cool. The Verve, the Bittersweet Symphony. I want to listen to that song after this. But Uncle, a British musical outfit founded by James Lavelle. Like it once included DJ Shadow was in the group, but most like trip hop group, like a bunch of stuff like that. This song's real cool. It's very trip hoppy, very 90s. But I like Richard Ashcroft's voice. I love that. I love the drums. Like, that's a good drum beat. Yeah, but they got their name from that man from Uncle, UNKLE. Yeah, they got their name from that. I don't know if they're still. I think they're still around doing stuff. Yeah, they're still doing around like producing stuff and everything. Uncle. Yeah. Richard Ashcroft. I don't know if he's doing stuff anymore. Let me check it out. And then it's like death. And it's like, no, he's not dead. I don't think he's dead yet. I think there'd be a bigger thing.
I'm again.
Wow.
Like how it sounded last night. And the sun's out. That's good.
Ooh. Richard Ashcroft, let's see. He released a cover of John Lennon's song in 2021. Let's see. But yeah, that's kind of like what he's doing, I guess. Yeah. Okay. He's married to somebody that's a former member of Spiritualized. Yeah. Last song will lead me into talking about the score a little bit. So the score was composed by Angelo Badalamenti. Returning name on our fucking podcast, frequent David Lynch collaborator. So that's like we've talked about him before on the Lost Highway episode, but I brought him up several times before. He's everywhere. Angelo Badalamenti. This is a song that Orbital remixed Beached, which was a song on the score. So this is the song on the score that's beached by it's the remix by it's a song that Orbital did with Angelo Badalamenti essentially. Yeah. It reminded me that reminded me of Twin Peaks at first, and I was like, what? And then it's like, oh yeah, duh, because it's the same guy. It's the same fucking guy that made the Twin Peaks music. Like, duh, it's the same fucking guy. Angelo Badalamenti, like, okay, so I was listening to the score a little bit before you got here. Sick. It is cool. Yeah. Like, he did a very cool score. He incorporated electronics into it and stuff. Like, not to the way that, like, maybe, not to the way that Wendy Carlos did or, like, Nine Inch Nails did or anything like that. But he did his own thing, and he did it very well. And it's super cool. It's a good score. That's on YouTube. I'll post both of these the YouTube playlist on the show notes below. But I love this. Orbital just rocks. Like we just always bring them up here. They're frequent MonoStereoVideo. We bring them up a lot. We've talked about a lot of their songs. They play on a lot of soundtracks. They've made a whole thing about themselves on these soundtracks. Like they are soundtrack music dudes. And that comes on later too. Like I think they've done whole things. Did they do Sunshine? The whole soundtrack, or was that Underworld that did Sunshine?
I thought it was Underworld.
I think, yeah, you might be right. It might be Underworld. Yeah. If anything, I'll correct myself right now.
Yeah, it was Underworld.
Yeah, I'll correct myself right there, right now. I corrected myself on the edit. And
ridiculous.
But this song, Beached by Orbital and Angelo, it's rad. It's a nice way to send the album off. It is the last song that plays on the movie too. I think it's like some of the credits music.
Once like that picture's downloading, that
yes. The ending too, that picture. So in the book, the ending is that when they're having that party and stuff, somebody spikes the punch. So they're also going crazy and drugged out.
In the book?
In the book. Okay. So they're crazy and drugged out when the farmers bring the bodies of the the hikers that they caught. They bring them, and then the people from the island, like the people on the beach that are going to be sent away, they go mad and they tear the bodies apart. So they end up ripping the bodies of these people apart. And it just ends with everybody goes home and doesn't talk to each other ever again. So the whole him getting the email and stuff didn't happen. There's no more connection, no more hope or anything like that. It's just more bleak. Yeah. So I don't know. They couldn't have done that for Hollywood.
They make that makes it reminds me more of Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, very much more Lord of the Flies. Yeah.
With adults.
James.
Yeah.
What's that fucking called? Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool. Yeah, very much that too. Yeah. Gotta watch that shit again. James.
I love her. So crazy.
Mia Goth is the best. And that's what's up. That's what's up with this soundtrack. That was the Beach soundtrack. I know we talk shit here and there, but we do love this soundtrack. We did love this movie. I'll watch this movie anytime. I'll watch any Danny Boyle thing. Okay. I've never seen Yesterday. I don't really have an itch to watch Yesterday. So I don't know if I'd watch that. But really any Danny Boyle movie I will watch. It's very watchable to me. He does cool things that I like. He has great soundtracks. His soundtracks vibe with the music and the movies very well. They attach themselves to the visuals very well. You hear it and you could see the movie. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the best soundtracks do. And then this even has a longer tail. This last people still listen to this. Porcelain, of course. Porcelain's just an everlasting. It's a classic forever now. It's gonna be played on oldies. I'm surprised it's probably not. I'm surprised it's not played on oldies stations now. You know, but that's gonna be there forever. Yeah, good soundtrack, good movie. Love. Any final things? Any final words?
No, yeah, just Richard sucked.
Yeah, yeah. Now that we're this age and we're watching it now, it's
I
like,
can see it
Richard
now.
sucked.
Like,
I could see why back in the day people, oh my god, Leo, it's a him movie. Oh my god,
right?
But also,
you don't see any fault in him, but that's like, no, you suck.
He sucks. He sucks. He's a sucky character, and he causes death and the fall of this society, and he just gets to go home and do his thing again. The IMAX, those are cool. The fucking colorful, bubbly IMAX. At the end of it in the computer cafe, like those old school Macintosh computers.
Oh, seeing the computers? Yeah. At first I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, what?
The IMAX.
Yeah, seeing those computers was cool.
That was cool.
Because those don't show up in movies very often. You see the old or the new shit, but you don't see those very often.
I think one of them showed up in one of the Blade movies, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Either way, thank you very much for listening to MonoStereoVideo. Casey, you can find her at Casey is Harry, deepcuts_EP. MonoStereoVideo mainly for us. MonoStereoVideo, do that. Go to MonoStereoVideo and reach out to us there. I'm going to get better about posting there and doing that. So MonoStereoVideo on Instagram, www.jjcaballero.com, @_JJCABALLERO. You can find us on Letterboxd. The link is below in the description of the show that you're just listening to right now. We also have links to other cool stuff, our Ko-Fi page. I'm going to post a new episode of MSB TV very soon. I just need to finish editing it. But I went through the music videos of Gaspar Noé. I did that. The next one I think I'm going to do... I gotta plan that out. I mean, there's a few that I already want to do. I want to do some David Lynch watch-alongs to like his commercials. His commercials are crazy, and there's a lot of them. Yeah, his commercials are pretty good. Yeah, David Lynch does some cool commercials. But there's that, and our next episode. So we're in limbo right now, somewhat. But like our next kind of like curation-ish is like movies with bands in them that are somewhat fictitious, but sometimes maybe they might play real music. And so it's like fake bands with...
Yeah, like fake bands with real people.
Real people music.
And sometimes real voices. Sometimes
music.
they'll actually sing or they're covering or whatever.
Yes. And this also encompasses some of our favorites that are musicals. So that also gets us into the realm of starting to talk about musicals. We haven't talked about any musicals yet. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's what the next episodes are coming up. It's gonna be fun. And then like we're picking and choosing. October, we're thinking of cool shit for fucking Halloween. Yeah, thinking of that stuff too. That's gonna be cool. Thank you for listening, and we will listen to you later.